Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing our Sephora VIB sale recommendation. Jazz hands for some reason. I want to start by saying if you follow or subscribe to a lot of beauty channels, I'm sure you're literally being bombarded with sale recommendation videos at the moment, and I wanted to say don't feel like pressured to buy anything, especially if you don't need anything or you're trying to save money. Everyone on YouTube talks about it because we get affiliate commissions when you shop through our links, and also if you do choose to shop through the sale, we make videos so it's helpful to you so you know what products are good and which are not. Really why the main reason I'm making this, because I feel like I've tried so much bad makeup and spent and wasted a lot of money on it. So this is just my group of products that I think are so worth it if you are looking to pick up anything, whether it's something that you need to repurchase or you're looking to just treat yourself with some new makeup. Either way, whether you want to splurge and treat yourself or not buy anything at all, like no pressure, don't feel guilty about it. Let's go ahead and get started. If you would like to subscribe, that would be great, and give this video a thumbs up if you find it helpful at any point. I'm going to start with base products in the way that I would apply them. For the primer slash base category, I really only have one product I felt so strongly about that I wanted to recommend in this video, and that is the Saie Beauty Glowy Super Gel. I've mentioned this a ton. I think I actually might need to repurchase this. It looks like it's kind of getting low. This is the Star Glow shade. I actually wanted to try the bronze one maybe for summer. I feel like that would be so pretty like on the chest as well. This is such an interesting glowy product. Now I have textured skin, I have normal to oily skin, so I do get pretty oily, but really my main concern is texture. I have acne scarring, so any sort of super glowy base product just does not look good on me. It just accentuates everything that I don't want to accentuate. This one adds a really natural looking glow to your skin without accentuating anything you don't want accentuated. So this is actually a water-based formula, and it's just so extremely thin on the skin, which is why I love it. I hate adding weight to my makeup because I really don't like my face feeling like heavy or just too dewy. So this is just absolutely gorgeous and perfect for that. The shimmer is so extremely fine, like I can't even see particles on my hand. That's how fine it is. It really just looks gorgeous, and even though it's water-based, I feel like it still works with almost all of my foundations if I let it sink in. So I just love this, and I think it's really worth it. It's actually not crazy expensive either. What is it, 20 something dollars? Really great product from Saie Beauty. I was actually looking to pick up their new blush, but it's already sold out literally the first day of the sale, so that kind of sucks. I will try to get my hands on those eventually, but if you're looking for another Saie product, I do really enjoy this one. For the foundation category, I have 3 different ones to mention, each with a different coverage level. We'll start with the lightest one, and also actually this isn't the newest to me, second newest to me, the LYS Triple Fix Serum Foundation. This is just a beautiful, light, more dewy foundation if you don't need a ton of coverage and you like something that's very light and skin-like. I think this is just really, really beautiful. I love the pump. I'm actually going to pick up a different shade in the sale because this one is just too pink for me. I would say that the neutral, at least on my skin, it leans a little bit peachy. So if you're like sort of in between a neutral or warm and you find that usually things with warmer undertones work better for you, I would go with a warm tone instead of a neutral. But if you are like peachy toned, definitely stick with the neutral. This is just really nice. Again, it's more affordable, which I really love about LYS. They're a clean brand, but they didn't make something so exuberantly priced. They're just really good products at a more accessible price. This isn't like a completely bulletproof, extremely long wearing foundation because it does have a dew to it. It's gonna break down throughout the day, but I feel like it still looks good after that, like probably like 8 hours of wear. After that, it starts to get really oily on me because I do have more oily skin. But for the shorter amount of wear times, I always go for this. If I want something that looks natural, it always looks good no matter what's going on with my skin. If I have breakouts, if I have dry skin, it seems to accommodate itself well to different skin concerns. So that's what I really enjoy about that one. So my medium coverage option is one I've mentioned, I'm pretty sure, in almost all of my Sephora favorites video. I've loved this since it launched. Has it been a year or 2 years? I'm not sure, but it's the Changemaker Supercharged Micellar Foundation from VIB Beauty. Look at this tube. I don't think I've ever used a foundation this much. This is the shade L20, which is my favorite. I believe I also have L35, and then I have a lighter one, so I mix them depending on if I have a tan on or not. But this is just, I have it on today, so perfect if you need a little bit more coverage than say like the LYS Beauty one offers, but you still want a really skin-like finish. This is just perfect. It does have a pretty strong like fruitier scent. I find that it dissipates once it's on my face. I wish they just made this unscented. I think I would like it a little bit more, but it's a bit of a thicker consistency. I think it just looks beautiful over texture. I don't think this foundation has like ever looked bad on me. This I go to if I know I want my foundation to look good. Is just Bite Beauty Change Maker. I know it's gonna look good. I know it's gonna work with my other products. It's a bit on the more like satiny side. I wouldn't call it dewy because it sets down really nicely. If you layer it with more like dewy products, it can give you a really dewy look, but it's just super versatile and it's just one of my go-tos. Lastly, for my full coverage option, this is a very polarizing product and I understand why. I will go over some tips with this, but this is the KVD Good Apple Foundation. This is a new foundation on the market, the full coverage foundation balm. I have the shade Light 08. Here's my pros with this product. It is extremely full coverage, so because of that, you can use a very light amount of product. If you need full coverage, I would recommend this. I think it's great. But there are some other boxes I feel like you should check if you have these or not before deciding if you want to get this. So this is marketed towards like normal to drier skin, but I don't find that it looks good at all on dry skin patches. And I've also heard other people say this. I find that with most of the reviews I've watched after I posted my video, people with normal to oilier skin actually like this more than people who have drier skin. And I understand why. It doesn't really look good over dry patches, but I do feel like it looks really nice over texture. It does have more of a satin finish again, but I feel like it sets down nicely. The way you apply this is really key to how it's going to wear on you. I like to apply it with a brush because you just get so much out of it, but I like to go over it with a sponge to really shear it out. So I'll just go in with a brush, kind of do like, you need the tiniest amount of this, like it's actually insane. Like almost the majority of time I feel like I'm using too much. So if you do get this, go extremely light-handed because it spreads such a long way. I just like to apply it in my like trouble areas, which is like around my cheeks here, and then I take my sponge and blend it out to the rest of my face, trying not to get too much product in the center of my face because it can start to look a little bit cakey. Now this isn't transfer proof, so if you're looking for something that's very matte and gonna dry down, this is not gonna be it for you. It does have more of a satin skin-like finish. It does transfer. It is a bit heavier feeling on the skin because it is just so full coverage. It really depends on what you're looking for. If you like a super light coverage natural look, obviously this isn't going to work for you. But if you're like me, you like full coverage and you want something that you're not going to have to use a lot of product to get full coverage out of, I think this is like absolutely game changing. Honestly, they just restocked it. I think it's amazing. I also noticed that in a lot of the reviews that I watched myself, most people were able to find a really good shade match, and I noticed this with the shade I picked out as well. Like I feel like I've never had a foundation match me so well. It seems they did a really good job with the shade range and the undertones of the foundation. So really great product from KVD Vegan Beauty. Again, if you have like dry patches, I would say stay away from it, and if it sounds like something you would like, I would go for it, but if not, I could see why people really dislike this as much as people really like it. All right, I talked so much about the foundations, so moving on to concealer. I actually don't have a liquid concealer I really want to recommend at the moment. There's a couple that I like, none that I love for both under the eyes and on the face, so I decided to really skip that category. If you have any recommendations for a liquid concealer from Sephora, let me know because I will try it. But I did want to mention this powdered one from Bareminerals. This is their Eye Brightener Well Rested Concealer. I think they have a couple different shades of this. This one is pretty yellow toned and it is a powdered mineral formula. This I don't like to use on its own as a concealer, but if I'm doing more of a lighter makeup look and I want something to add even more coverage, I feel like this is really nice for it. It does, I feel like it accentuate under eye texture a little bit, so I have to be very light-handed. But if I use it the correct way, I really enjoy it for a quick look. I think it gives you extra coverage. I also like how, because it's mineral, has titanium dioxide, it's a SPF 20 sunscreen, which I think is extra important for under your eyes. So you have your SPF on and everything, but this also just adds like another boost of sunscreen under your eyes. It could also help to reapply sunscreen, although I'm not sure, like it says SPF 20. So I guess you could use it to reapply sunscreen on top of your makeup. I really enjoy this. I'm not sure like how these shades would work for everybody because it is pretty limited, but I find it to be like, I'm very fair and this doesn't like show up super dark. So I don't know. But yeah, I decided to pick this one up on a whim not that long ago, and I've really been reaching for it a lot. So that's a hit from Bareminerals. On to loose powder and pressed powder. I have 3 different options, all offering their separate benefits. So I'll start with the one you know I'm going to mention, Ilia Soft Focus Finishing Powder. I talk about this so much, you know it's my favorite powder. It's lightweight, it sets your makeup, it's more mattifying, so if you like those things, I would go for this. If you have drier skin and you want something that's not going to totally make your face look flat, I think that the new Kosas Cloud Set powders are really nice. Now, I don't reach for these a ton because I like my foundation to be really set down. It depends on what foundation I'm wearing. Like if I'm going with the KVD Beauty one, I will use a more mattifying powder. But if I have a more matte foundation, like my NYX Very Matte Foundation, I will use this one on top to add more life to it. So it depends on what kind of finish you like in your foundation. This just looks really beautiful. It sets your makeup, but it doesn't do too much, which is really nice. And this one is the shade Airy, by the way. I have a full video on these powders. If you want even more in-depth details about it, I will link that one. Lastly, if you want a powder that does it all but doesn't look too flat, I really enjoy this one from LYS Beauty. This is just called their Translucent Setting Powder. This one is the translucent shade. They have a couple different shades depending on your skin tone. I believe they have like a yellowy banana one too. This is a pressed powder, which I don't typically like, but I feel that this works really nicely under the eyes. It works nicely all over the face. It sets you down without making you look too flat or dry. I think this is just super versatile for a lot of different skin types, and it's just such a solid product. I mean, I love this brand. I feel like they just make really good products that are going to work for a lot of different people at a good price point. So that would be my setting powder pressed option. For bronzer, my product of choice is also from LYS. This is their No Limits Matte Bronzer. I have the shade Motivate, which is light. Now, I do enjoy the Fenty powder bronzer as well. I think I like this one a little bit more. I think it just, I don't know, there's something about it that just makes it so beautiful and blendable on the skin. It just works with everything, any kind of look. It's not too warm and not too pigmented either, so you can really build it up. I just reach for this so much, and they offer several different shades of this bronzer, so it can work for any skin tone. So this is definitely my bronzer pick if you're looking to pick up one from Sephora. All right, let's get into blush. I only have one pressed powdered option, and this one is from KVD Beauty. If you want a matte blush, this one's really beautiful. This is the shade Foxglove. These are really a true matte blush formula, super pigmented and make your cheeks look airbrushed almost. This one's like a mauvey pink, really pigmented and pretty. I reach for this so much if I'm like, I don't know what blush to wear, but I want something to look good. I usually go for this. I don't find that it looks flat though. It's really creamy and blendable and such a solid blush. I feel like pretty underrated, but I really like it. I think the packaging is cute. Comes like in this little floral packaging. And yeah, I feel like cream blushes this year have really blown up. I mean, cream products in general, I feel like so many more brands are offering them now. So I feel like now that the market is even more saturated, it's even harder to find a cream blush formula that's gonna work for you. My number one recommendation is definitely the Tower 28 Beach Please blushes. These are the 3 new shades that they have. I have all the shades. Even if you don't like cream products, I would challenge you to try a cream blush because I'm not the type of person to get excited about cream products or use all cream products on my face, but cream blush was the one thing that like got me into cream products. I'm like, okay, I can be down with a cream blush because I'm oily in the center of my face. I don't like a lot of creams there, but I don't really get oily on my cheekbones, and I feel like the glow that these add are just so stunning. So I have 3 shades here. This one is Rush Hour. I have this on my cheeks now. This shade specifically, I would have never picked this out for myself. It's a very like poppy peach color, which I thought would look weird on me because anything that's like warmer orange toned, I feel like usually does not go with my skin undertones. But something about this, every time I put it on, I've never had a blush do something like so drastic to my face. Not drastic, it just like literally brightens up my whole face just with this one blush. So I'm so in love with this color. I've been using it all the time. I have it on my cheeks now, especially if I'm doing a warm tone look. It's so good. They apply well over powder. They add a glow, but they're not too dewy. I also don't feel like they get patchy. I also have After Hour and Power Hour, which are the other two shades. If you have like a medium to deeper skin tone, these would be freaking so stunning on you. I can use them as well if I sheer them out. But yeah, I wanted to mention them. Such a hit. I also think the packaging is just unreal, really beautiful. So let's talk about brows and eyeliner before we move on to eyeshadow. My number one brow recommendation would be the Kosas Air Brow. This is a new launch. I like the clear one the best because I find the taupe is a little bit dark for me. Maybe I'll try a different shade, but this brow gel, like, it really is unique brow gel. I haven't tried anything like this. It gives such a good amount of hold. I have it in my brows now. Also, if you'd like to do a brow gel before you do either a powder or pencil, it works really nice for that because it's like a flexible hold. Like, it doesn't feel crunchy. It's amazing. It holds your brows up. It works well. I mean, what else could you ask for? I think the packaging is really nice too. And I think the tinted formula is beautiful. I feel like they're really similar formulas. The only thing I don't like about this is the shade, but I would still recommend it if you think you can find a shade that works for you. And then my other brow product is the KVD. I'm not sure if these are still on Sephora. I really hope so. The Brow Struck Dimension Powder. This one is in taupe, but I actually use the shade Blonde more, surprisingly, because their taupe is like very cool toned. Like, it's almost a little bit gray. As you can tell from my finger swatch there, it has a little bit of shimmer in it, which at first I was like, what? Like, that's a little bit weird. But once it's on your brows, it helps to add dimension and look a lot more realistic than like a flat powder. So actually today I put this on first and then I filled in just using a powder. It was like the quickest brow I did, and this is like one of the only brow powders I've been able to find a good shade for. Again, I use Blonde. Sometimes I use taupe, but I think they really nailed the shades of that powder. My eyeliner recommendation is also a product from KVD. This is the Tattoo Liner. I have been using this for so long. I repurchased this when I was in high school. It's a $20 liner, but it was just so good. I couldn't stop using this. If you need a super fine point liner, I mean, look no further. This is the one for you. It's also extremely long lasting and really easy to use. It's a brush tip, which is my absolute favorite. I did want to mention a dupe for this is the NYX Epic Ink Liner. $10 cheaper, very similar. It's not as thin. This is actually the brown shade I have here. It's not as thin, but it's so similar and lasts just as long. So it really depends if you wanted to like spend the $10 extra for an extra fine point. I do like that one from KVD. All right, let's talk about eyeshadow palettes. I have two like basic palettes I want to mention. First is one from Ilia. This is the Warm Nude Necessary palette. Now this is in their old packaging. It comes in white packaging now. I feel like when this came out, people talked about it and then it like fell off the face of the planet. Like, I feel like it's pretty underrated. I really enjoy the formulas of these. I used it for my eye look today. They're super blendable, and if you like warm tones, like, this literally has everything you need for an everyday look, which is why I love it. Most of them are matte. You get two shimmers. I really love the balance of tones. Like, you can use this as a liner like I did today. You can mix it with the red to make it warmer or use that on its own. These two I use in my crease, and then these you can use on your lid or the inner corner or however you want to use them. You get a mirror in here. I just love them. Again, they're user friendly. They blend like a dream. They're not super pigmented, but I actually like that because I feel like everything just blends out to be really soft and natural looking. So if you like warm tones, check that one out. They also have a cool tone palette, which is very purple. If you're into that, I do like the formula, so I recommend that one as well. And then next is this cute little tiny trio from Kaja. So this is the shade Chocolate Dahlia. It's called their Beauty Bento. You get 3 different shades in here. First is this like pretty, very creamy, impactful champagne shade. And then in the middle is this mid-tone brown. And then at the end here is just your classic, what am I doing? Just your classic brown. So these 3 shades together, I mean, you could create an everyday look, and they're so portable and easy to travel with and just bring with you. You get a shimmer and 2 mattes. Honestly, I could probably use that middle shade as a brow shade as well. I just think these are super fun and the formulas are great. If you wanted something that's just compact, easy to use, you don't have to think about it. Like, you could just grab this and be like, okay, this is my eye look. Obviously the brown I'd probably use as an eyeliner. You can even deepen up your crease with it. Mid-tone, transition shade, sparkly on the lid, you're done. Easy as that. So those ones were my two like everyday palettes, and then the more fun palettes I wanted to mention. This is also from KVD. Wow, I did not realize how much KVD I have in this video, but I was really excited about all of their like new rebrand launches. So this is the palette that they have. This is fully recyclable, just like the foundation, which I think is really nice that they're incorporating that into their brand. So you get 6 mattes at the top here, and then the rest are shimmers. There's no metal dividers, which at first it seems really weird, almost like the shadows are just like sitting on top of something, but you kind of get used to it after a while. You get some more like cool tone shades, and then also these warm tones over here. You do get this, oh, this blue is actually not completely matte, has a little bit of shimmer in it, but they're really pretty. They're really, oh my god, that one's so creamy. They're really pretty and creamy, and just, I mean, if you want like a fun palette in your collection and you don't have one, this is the perfect amount of fun because it's more jewel tones, which makes it a lot more wearable, and you could also do an everyday look with this. And I think the packaging is just super beautiful. I've been really enjoying this one. I guess these count as both a natural and more fun option. These are the Janessa Myrick's Color Fixes. Now I have 3 different finishes here. First is the matte. I have the shade Exposed. We have a foil in the shade Twinkle. And then I have a metallic in the shade Limesicle. Now these, before I talk about these, I always like to mention, I feel like they're more for people who like to play around with makeup. They take a little bit more time. I mean, you don't have to be like a makeup artist to use these, obviously. Like, you can have a very beginner makeup skill and still find these really useful. I just don't think they're the most convenient. Say like you're doing makeup for work and you want to be done in like 3 minutes. They take a little bit of working with, so just be aware of that. The shade Exposed is so pretty. This is a matte formula. With all of these, I really recommend a brush. I don't feel like your fingers work with them. They can get a little bit patchy, but they're so pigmented. You start with a tiny little amount and you just blend it. I like to put this honestly all over my lid. It's like a pretty grungy color. And then this is the foil in the shade Twinkle, which I have on my lids today. These can be a little bit finicky. I especially recommend a brush for these, and just to tap it on, because when you use your finger, it can sort of like pick up in different places and look like a little bit crinkly. But with a brush, I think they're beautiful. By the way, all of these, they stay like extremely well. Like, they're really long wearing products. They don't flake off, they don't rub off. Like, if you're looking for stuff that's really gonna last on your lids, I enjoy these, even if you have oily lids. And then the metallic Limesicle is really similar to the matte formula, just has a bit more sheen to it. I mean, these are so fun. You can add white to this. They actually have a white matte color to make them pastels. You can blend them. They're just so fun and like creative. Like, whenever I'm feeling like I want to do a creative look, I always go for these, and I feel like they added the fun back to makeup that I feel like was kind of missing in makeup, because all these brands are just releasing like new colorful palettes, blah blah blah, but like these are multi-use. Like, you don't need to buy a million different products. You can have a lot of fun with just one of these, and they're $18, so I really recommend them. I think they're just so unique and super fun. My last eyeshadow pick is honestly like a little bit surprising. When I first saw these palettes, I was like, I'm not getting those. They're all metallics. I need some mattes in my life, but I feel like the formulas of these are just really fun. So these are the Rare Beauty palette. What are they called? They're just called their eyeshadow palettes. This is Confident Energy, and then we have Magnetic Spirit, which like the colorways are a little bit confusing, but I think it's nice because you get like a good array of shades in each palette. These are the only products I ended up liking from Rare Beauty. They're more like a creamy type of formula. Like, you're definitely not gonna get any fallout from these. They're really fun and pretty, and they're all metallic, but I feel like they're not so metallic that you couldn't like put one in your crease and just go with it. I think these are a nice like pop of metallic if you don't have any fun metallics in your collection, and the packaging is really high quality and nice. I actually dropped one today and it did not break, thank God. These are really fun and totally surprised me because I was just not expecting to even like these at all. Lastly, we have lip products, starting with a lip liner. I'm gonna recommend this lip liner, but I'm also gonna recommend that you just get like a NYX lip liner because I feel like they're just as good. But if you like really wanted this shade, you know, I think it's nice. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat. This is the shade Iconic Nude. I do have Pillow Talk, which is more pink. I just prefer this one because it has a bit more like depth to it. These are really creamy and precise. I have it on my lips today, but I have this shade, which is from NYX, and it's called Nude Beige, which, I mean, that's like a pretty good dupe for that. It's a little bit lighter and a little bit more cool toned, but like very, very slightly. I think these are such a like similar formula. This is pretty expensive, and these are like what, $3. I wanted to mention both of those if you wanted to splurge on the Charlotte Tilbury one. It's a great shade. I don't regret buying it, but I do feel like there's a lot of drugstore options, just so you know. And then next up for lipstick formulas, I have 2 here. These are probably, I mention these all the time in my Sephora favorites videos. Like, I feel like nothing is like beat these. I don't try a ton of different like lip products once I find something I like. So these are the Bite Beauty lip crayons. I have these on my lips today. These are creamy, they're super pigmented, they're really comfortable. They're just everything I want in a lipstick. My favorite shades are Cava, which is so unique. This is a really cool toned purple shade. I usually don't wear this on its own. I actually like to mix it with like pinker shades, which usually just like cools them down a bit. This one is Amaretto, which is a pretty warm tone, like nude pink. They have tons of shades. They have the word matte in their name. They're not matte, they're a satin finish. I like how they're in a pencil form. They also have a sharpener if you did not know that, so you can sharpen and you could get like really precise with them. Beautiful formulas. They work really well. I use them all the freaking time. And then if you wanted a liquid lipstick formula that's still comfortable, I talk about this so much. The Patrick Ta She's Independent lipstick. I've tried other shades of this formula and nothing has come close to this shade. I don't know, I just freaking love how this shade looks on me. It's the perfect, like, it's like a little bit warmer but not too warm. It's just really flattering, and I always use this when I don't know what lip shade to wear, or if I have a bright look going on. I feel like it just goes with everything, whether it's a warm toned or cool toned eye. Also, the formula is amazing. It like sort of dries down but stays a little bit, like, it just looks like your lips. It doesn't feel dry, it doesn't feel sticky, and just such an amazing color. I haven't found any color that is like this. I wish I had like more formula versions of this shade, but until then, I'll keep using this. Next, I have some lashes to talk about. My favorite lash brand on Sephora is definitely Velour. These are the Lash of the Day collection. These are my favorite collection that they've had so far. I have their more natural lashes. These are like, I think all of Velour lashes, although they make some more natural styles, the bands are kind of on the thicker side, so it's not like an Ardell Wispy. Like, it does have that black band at the bottom. This collection, I just love the styles in these. I wear them so much. I think I like this collection the most just because they're so like dramatic. I mean, these ones are a little bit more natural, but they're just really high quality. I've used these so many times and they're still going strong. So if you wanted a fun pair of more dramatic lashes, I really enjoy the Lash of the Day collection. I also have their Effortless lashes here if you want something like super natural. And then also the Vegan Luxe lashes in some more natural styles. Great lashes all around. I also enjoy their Lash Blue, although I'm not certain that's on Sephora. I skipped right over lip gloss, so we're coming back to lips for a second. 2 lip gloss formulas. First, from Tower 28, the Milky Lip Glosses Lip Jelly. This one's in the shade Coconut, which is a really pretty like poppy pink. I love for a super quick everyday look to use like the NYX liner or the Charlotte Tilbury one, something a little bit more cool toned. Then putting this on my lips, it gives you really good like color coverage, but it's so comfortable and glossy but not too sticky. I think these are just a really beautiful formula. It's almost like a lip treatment and not so much of a gloss, but it is super glossy. So I like that one from Tower 28. And then more of a traditional type of lip gloss formula, it's still also not sticky at all, is the Bite Beauty. These are the Yearrr plumping lip glosses. I wasn't sure what to think of like this applicator when I first got it, but it's really nice because you can just wipe it off so your lip color doesn't like get into the tube. All you do is like twist this up and then apply it, and they have a light cinnamon taste, by the way. If you don't like cinnamon, avoid these. I don't feel like they're super plumping, but they are really nice, not sticky. This is the shade Guava Puff. It's more of a cooler tone pink, which I think goes so nice with the Cava, or again if I want to cool down a lip, which I usually like to do because I don't find that warm pinks are that flattering on me. They have a bunch of other shades. If you're interested in the formula, definitely check it out. So those were all of my Sephora sale recommendations. I know it's not a ton of products, but I didn't want to like recommend you guys stuff just to recommend things. Like, these are just best of the best things I would repurchase myself, that I use all the time, that I think are really like the gems of Sephora. I hope you found this video helpful, and subscribe if you haven't already, and give this video a thumbs up. I might do a skincare recommendation video. If you are interested in seeing that, let me know, because I have a lot of skincare favorites from Sephora too, and I'll throw in some hair care. So let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll add a comment myself asking you if you'd be interested in a skincare slash hair care version. But thank you again for tuning in. Happy shopping if you are, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.